Hello, this is Anna at Nautilus Yacht Management. Welcome to Libet's show. Libet's show is a stunning Leopard 44 which was built in 2012. Her owners purchased her brand new in the UK and had her fitted out for their world travel. Libet's show is equipped with everything you could possibly dream for to go traveling around the world in absolute comfort. This boat is the owner's edition with 3 cabins and 1 hull fully reserved for the owner's use. She has never been chartered. She has been hauled out over hurricane or cyclone seasons to keep her safe and keep her out of the water during this time. She is fully blue water prepared, including 2 water makers, one for 12 volt and one for the 220 volts. She has 2 autopilot controllers, upgraded Yanmars engines at 39 horsepower each. She has 17 inches feathering max props, which also equipped with triple rope cutters, so you don't have to worry about catching mooring ropes. She has full control of sails and reefing from the helm station, so you don't need to leave the cockpit. Her standing rigging was replaced in 2017, and her sails have also been upgraded. She has 3 large anchors, including a Rocna 40 kilos, and her rudders and bearings were replaced in 2018. Everything you can see on the boat is looking in absolutely perfect condition and could actually pass for a brand new boat. We will show you around now through the boat, and the owner will also include some of his comments that are very valuable about some of the additions and specifications that he has added to this boat. Enjoy!
Jane really should be here to explain about the freezer, but this Vitrifrigo, it's a freezer on the top. You're not allowed to look in because it's not been, it's still got our food in it. But obviously it's much colder up here, and then this is the refrigerator. And so your fridges and freezers are more efficient because you don't lose all the cold that spills out when you open, say, a door like a freezer. And it's just very handy. They're large. We can hold enough protein in the freezer for 3 to 4 weeks if it's just Jane or I, or just maybe 3 of us. So lots of capacity to hold there. Also, because we're doing some longer passages, so we cross the Atlantic and the Pacific, we installed another unit that can both be a fridge and a freezer. So if we're going on, say something will take us a month, and we've got 4 people on board, we can add more protein in here, and we can make it a freezer. But for example, if we're cruising just with some friends and we needed room for some more beverages, then we can make that a refrigerator instead. So it's flexible. It's installed for us, and from our perspective, it looks like it's been there forever. Very handy when you need it. So now in terms of communication, we've got the M802, ICOM M802 single sideband, and as well an Iridium Go. And we've installed the dedicated Iridium antenna up on the spreader on the mast, so we get really good connection without having to put the Go outside. And we put it here because we use the table as our chart table, and so we can manage both of those pretty handily with that. You'll notice the bread maker. Whoops, get out of the way. The bread maker, that is such a treat when you're under passage to be able to have fresh bread, and it's actually kind of easy to do as well. And the other thing, just to mention, we just come past the Leopards have got, you've got this 360-degree view, which is fantastic when you've got good weather, but also when you've got bad weather, because you don't necessarily have to be out in it. I just want to point out the front window. This is a 2012 Leopard, and that post on the right-hand side of the front window was later taken out. I personally quite like it because it gives more stability in the front window. Speaking of windows, we've replaced 3 of the 4 side saloon windows. This is a common issue with Leopards, and so we've gone ahead and replaced 3 of the 4, and they've been stable since we've replaced them, so no problem there. Also, a lot of talk about the front cockpit, very controversial. It is probably the best feature of the boat. It's fantastic. You can sit out there and have dinner while you're underway. It's so fantastic. But in terms of protection for the boat, this is a very sturdy sea door. It's all metal. And then you've got dogs that in the top and the bottom. And it is watertight. It is secure. We've never had an issue with water coming in that door, provided we've remembered to close the door. We've added another fire extinguisher by the front door. It's not standard. We thought we needed another fire extinguisher inside the kitchen. Again, standard stove, 3-burner stove and oven. We've managed to produce a few Christmas dinners off of that for our family, and so that's fantastic. And then the sinks, double sinks, plus a separate area where you can, for drying or storing other things, cups and various things, very handy right there. Our food storage, we have throughout the boat, of course, but we have these little storage areas, and they are surprisingly handy. You can just be in the kitchen, and you can get what you need. The table can be collapsed down to a double bed, and we have a nephew who is 6'5", and that's his favorite bed. He can stretch out. He's most comfortable there. Height-wise, yeah, he can walk through here. I don't know exactly how high it is, but I'm just about 6 feet, so 6'4", 6'5", something like that easily. But yeah, never been an issue with the head. So the vents underneath on the wall there lead to the air conditioners, and so quite easy to get into the air conditioners and do your annual servicing for them. And oh yes, so this is the safety hatch. So basically the concept is if you ever invert, then this bit here forms your ladder, so you crawl up here, and then you can open up the dogs on that safety hatch and make your way to the outside. The sliding door gives you a ton of light, but also you can cut it off if the weather's inclement. Okay, so this is the starboard hull. So this whole hull is dedicated to the owners. The bed is a 5-foot bed. There's storage underneath it, as well as you can see the 2 shelves in front of it as well. There's 3 windows that open, so there's really good ventilation, and that's why I mentioned earlier we almost never use our air conditioner, because the winds, normally when you're anchored, you get good winds. There's a fan there. In each of the rooms, I should mention, there's a carbon monoxide detector, and also I've installed a double USB port, so it's easy to keep your apps going, your anchor app when you're at anchor. We've installed this cabinet here. It was a sofa, but we feared that all it would do is collect clothing. So we had this made. They did a really nice job of matching it up. This is shelving in here. I won't show you because there's a lot of storage in there. And then in this one, we've added a washing machine. It's a full-size washing machine. It comes quite handy on passage, so we use that quite a bit. We actually see the books up here, and for you monohull sailors, we actually leave these up when we're underway. There's a little bit of non-stick underneath, and in only the most extreme of seas will we ever have to worry about those books moving. So welcome to the flat world of catamaran.
Love that.
The boat is built with very good access. So this is the access to the back of that refrigerator and freezer that I mentioned. And so you have really good access and also good ventilation, so it works there. Also, you've got your autopilot drive. Again, easy to check. You can check all the linkages as well. So super easy to do that. This is the connection box, and it looks a little bit like Apollo 11 to me, but it's just very easy to work on, and it's quite easy to follow the directions, the schematics as well. So nice and easy access for that. Okay, so this is our bilge. We've installed our 12-volt water maker. We have 2 water makers on board. One is a 220-volt water maker, and this is the 12-volt. It's a Spectra. It's 2 years old. It runs like a clock. All the filters are easy access. We've opted for a more manual approach to how we backwash in that. We've had experience before where you have an all singing, all dancing version, and something goes wrong, and all of a sudden you can't use the water maker. So for both water makers, we've stripped them back to just simple switches that we can manage and also repair if we need to. So even with a Spectra that can be quite automated, we've opted for a manual approach to it. So this is where the 12-volt lives. Further on, down through here, good place for storage in both places. This is where our M802, the tuner, is just under there, because immediately above it is the antenna, which we've run up on our starboard shroud. And so it's very close, and as you know, for those installations, you want to keep that as close to your antenna as possible. More storage through here. I mentioned keeping the water makers simple. So this is the Spectra on-off switch, where you can watch the pressure and the volume. This is how you determine which, if we can put tank or whether you're going to test it. And then this is for our 220. The green button initiates the low pressure pump. Once that gets going, then you flick this switch for the high pressure pump, and it keeps track of the hours that it's been used. So very simple, not automated, but we feel much more comfortable with this, particularly if you are in remote areas and all of a sudden you have a problem with your water maker. So coming through here is the head. Again, good ventilation, good storage. So, and then this is something I'm quite proud of, I guess, is this was a storage area, and so what we've done is we've installed a hatch up to the foredeck. So now we can access the foredeck directly from here. We've installed pipes on either side, as you can see, to hang our lines and then store the sails. So we can do all our sail management without having to go through the cabin. And for those of you that don't like salt in your cabin, or sometimes sails do get wet, you can keep it separate from the rest of the house, the rest of the cabin. We have our drogue stored here as well, so super easy access, together with the lines that you would use to secure the drogue. So everything's kind of together, and it's just very handy. And that's it here. Okay, so this is the forward cabin on the port side, and as you can see, there's 2 different parts to this particular bed. So obviously this bed. Now this bed can also be broken into a twin. There's this little insert here. So So if you've got two kids who don't like to be so close to each other, or two separate guests, you can sit just divided at the head like that. We currently have that. Also, we have toppers on all our beds, and these are memory foam toppers, and so they'll be with the boat, sold with the boat as well, along with all the sheets and everything. Just worthwhile mentioning that forward area also has got its own mattress. It doesn't have a memory foam, but there's a mattress there, and it's about, it's just under 6 feet if you put your feet right in the bow. It's really meant for children or smaller people. So we are obviously using that for storage. As cruisers, even though there's a lot of storage here, we have a lot of stuff, and so it tends to find its way there. Again, this room's got good ventilation from the hatch and from the side window, and it's got a fan as well on there. It also has its own carbon monoxide monitor, hanging closet there, and shelving units on the side. As a standard with all Leopard 44s, the electrical panel is immediately on your right hand side as you come in. That's really handy because it makes it so easy to monitor the boat on an ongoing basis. You pass by it on day to day, you can have a quick look and you can see exactly what's going on. A couple things from a safety perspective. Just like on the helm, there's a light here for the bilge. So even though you may not hear the bilge pump running, you're going to get a notification from the light here and also up on the helm. When you come up here, so radio, we've got speakers, both 2 in the cabin and then 2 also in the saloon. VHF, we also have added the mic in the helm as well, so you can manage the VHF from the helm. That's handy if you're trying to contact people while you're steering the boat. This one's called an Echo Max Active XS. It's what it is. It's a radar signal enhancer. So it's active in that if we get pinged by another boat, it will send back a larger signal. So we kind of look like a small freighter as opposed to a small sailboat. And we worried about that in high traffic areas. So we have AIS. We both send and receive AIS, so that's good. We have a passive radar responder as well, which should be good enough. But we decided to add an active one as well, just to give us even more presence when we're out there in the busy waters. Kind of hard to see, but up here we've got green light. That indicates that our inverter's on. And so it's just an easy way, rather than going down and seeing the inverter, we can easily manage or see that it's available. We have a Victron Quattro 3000, so it handles all our inversion. And we have a battery monitor up at the top, so we can scroll through and find out how the batteries are performing, how much power we still have left. And we have 2 air conditioners as well, 2 independent, 1 for each hull, and so you manage these by here as well. And they can be driven easily by, we have a Northern Lights 6 kilowatt generator, so that will drive the air conditioners, although I have to say we don't use it very often, but if you need them, the generator will manage it easily. We're now in the port side, so we're in the port aft cabin. We'll show you the bed and the bathroom in a second. But this is where our power is managed to a certain extent. This is the original charger that came with the boat. And so this is now responsible for charging the starter batteries for the engines. We've also installed, this is where the Victron Quattro is. And so the Victron has got 2 power sources. We have a 6 kilowatt Northern Lights generator, so that comes into here. And then as well, this is where the shore power comes in. So we've got 2 different sources of shore power. The primary purpose of this is to invert from the batteries, but also to charge our house batteries. We have 840 amp hours of house batteries. We expanded the number of batteries by 1, and they're AGM, and they're 2 years old. So we also built a link between these 2 chargers so that if one of them fails, the other will take over as well, and that switches are underneath the kitchen sink. So in addition to, we've got power generated by the 2 engines, so alternators on both of those. We have power that's generated by the generator. We have 3 solar panels that generate electricity. And then also we've got the wind generator. And here's the control panel for the wind generator. So easily accessed, serviced, and you can monitor it as well. So this is, I guess, tends to be where all our power is controlled.
Thank you for watching our feature about the beautiful Libeccio. This boat has now arrived in Vanuatu, and from there will travel on to New Caledonia. If you would like to organize an inspection or find out more about it, please give us a call or contact us, info@nautilusyachtmanagement.com. Thanks for watching!